Hello everyone, I'm Brooke and welcome to the Pink2paris channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I make videos about lifestyle and personal development, and they're designed to make you shine in life. So if this interests you, please subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you never miss an upload. So as you can see from the title, today's video is going to be about my anxiety story. I want to say two things before we get started though. One is that nothing that I say here in this video is intended to replace the attention of a qualified healthcare provider. And the second thing is that I get anxiety when I talk about my anxiety, so you might hear it in my voice. Not quite sure why this is, but I think I still feel a little bit of the stigma that goes along with talking about mental health and conditions because I know that people think having anxiety or other conditions is a sign of weakness. So it just makes me a little hesitant to talk about. But in the interest of being totally transparent and real with you, in the hopes that somebody out there is helped, I'm gonna do it, okay? So here we go. So I've been managing moderate to severe anxiety for nearly 19 years now. I started with anxiety when I first had my first son. He's almost 19, so yeah, nearly 19 years ago. And I remember thinking that when I had a baby, everything was going to be, just happiness and joy and laughter and just the best thing. But I quickly found out that it wasn't that way for me. Actually, what happened was I started developing a thought pattern that, looking back, wasn't healthy. I was consumed with fear. And one of the fears I had, and these fears are irrational, I now know that, but one of the things I feared was that something bad would happen if I was away from my son. And the other thing that I used to think all the time was that he was just going to grow up and leave me. So, not why bother, but I love the baby so much, but one day he's just going to grow up and leave me and I'll be left devastated and crushed. Those were the two thoughts that I remember having over and over again as a brand new mom. I even have those in my journal that I kept from back then. I can't really read those things from those days, but that was the thought process. And one of the signs of anxiety is intense fear. A fear of either real or imagined things, and mine were definitely imagined because, like I said, it wasn't very rational. But it consumed me, and the next thing I know, I was in a pretty dark place. And physically, I was always experiencing extreme tension in my chest and neck. And I was experiencing rapid heartbeat and, some of the other symptoms that are classic for anxiety. I can't think of them right now, but it was pretty much hard to do, hard to just function. And that's another thing that anxiety disorders do, is it makes it really hard for you to function in everyday life. So eventually, and this is all me looking back, at the time I didn't really know anything was wrong. It just slowly crept up, got to a point where it was really, really big, but it happened so gradually that it didn't cause me concern. But looking back, I was just a hollow shell. Between the sleep deprivation and the constant chronic anxiety, I was just like a hollow shell. There was nothing to me. And I remember, doctors these days are really, really good, and they screen you. They ask a lot of screening questions like, how are you feeling? Is everything okay? How's the baby? You're taking care of the baby, right? And stuff like that. So they're checking on you. And I would always answer, fine. I'm fine. I'm just a little tired. And that was good. It got me through the checkup and away we went. But one time I must have just, been really tired. I forgot to cover it up or what, but I confessed, and I'll say it was like a confession, that I had these irrational fears. Well, I didn't say irrational. I just said I feared that A, something bad was going to happen if I was away from my son, and B, that kind of why bother? He's just going to grow up and leave me. So when she heard that, she was like, we got something here. So she diagnosed me with postpartum depression, and she gave me medication. So that was kind of good. I had a diagnosis and medication. I felt relief from some of those physical symptoms, but nothing was done to change my mindset. The inevitable crash happened. I talk about this a lot in my video, Why Do I Love Pink? And it's, if you notice, linked in the description box of all of my videos, because, well, let me just a little side. I posted that video years ago, but I still get so many comments and private emails from people saying that it has helped them with postpartum depression and or anxiety. And so that reason I leave it linked into the description of all my videos in case it can help someone else. I really, really understand what people are going through with this postpartum depression, anxiety, all that. And if there's anything I can do to help, I want to do it. And by sharing my story, I guess I touched some lives, and it helps that way, just to feel, if nothing else, that you're not alone. So back to the video. I posted in my video, Why Do I Love Pink? That I was experiencing several really, really intense stressors, boom, 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 one right after the other. And this sent me into a near catatonic state. I was so full of anxiety that it was just debilitating, and I could really hardly function. And so from there, this is a couple years and another baby after my original diagnosis of postpartum depression, I found myself back at the doctor answering some more of those questions. And this time, she diagnosed me with postpartum depression, which was moderate, but severe anxiety. Now, this is the first time I've ever heard the word anxiety attached to me and being diagnosed with it. Obviously, I had been experiencing it for a long time, but it was never anything that just occurred to me that I was suffering from anxiety. Actually, generalized anxiety disorder, just a general anxiety. I don't really have panic attacks. I haven't had... I've only had like a couple, and I've only slipped into OCD just a touch. But generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD, is pretty much where I dwell. So this time when I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and depression, I was given new medicine, and also I was treated with psychotherapy. So it was very much important to my doctor that I supplement the medicine that was going to help my body with psychotherapy or therapy that was going to help the way I thought. And I did everything I could during those therapy appointments to make sure that I got straight, because the last thing I ever want to do is go to therapy. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with it. It's just sometimes it's so inconvenient that I just wanted to make immediate progress and be done with it. So I was very, very dedicated to my therapy and also to my medication treatment. And eventually I got much better. I got to the place where I was able to manage irrational fears, nip those in the bud immediately. And I was also able to take better care of myself. Months later, after giving this treatment a whirl, I realized that I was feeling much better, and it was great. But it wasn't the happily ever after ending yet. because I found out that I also have low serotonin levels. My body doesn't produce enough serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter or a kind of chemical in your body that regulates your mood, keeps you in a positive mood, the happiness and joy, the happy mood that you would want to experience. So without enough of that, I wasn't able to regulate my mood correctly. And turns out that stress, whenever I felt under stress, stress actually releases stress hormones in your body, and that further reduces serotonin, which makes anxiety even more prevalent. So I just couldn't win. So over the years, I've developed some really, really good coping mechanisms, and I'm able to handle stress very well and manage anxiety when it comes up. I still get anxious. Don't get me wrong. Stress and anxiety are perfectly normal, and they're very healthy for the body to face fearful situations, actual real fearful situations. Produces a whole response in your body that gets your defense mechanisms going so that you can take care of yourself. But in excess or too much of this leads to trouble. So I'm able to think my way out of a lot of stress. And actually, if you saw me without watching this video first, you'd probably think that I was really calm and laid back, because outwardly I am, and outwardly I'm a very, very happy person. It's just inside, when the struggle comes up, I'm really doing a lot in my head and in my body to manage it and make sure that I don't get to a certain level that is just too far. And I would encourage other people to make sure that they are understanding themselves and their thought processes enough so that when a stressor enters your environment, you can just take that and toss it out to the side, because you have to have filters and you have to have blockers in order to manage what you actually allow come into your world and bother you. I just firmly believe that. But in addition to that, what I want to share with you now are 10 legal, I tried everything legal that there is to remedy my anxiety over the years. And I came up with 10 things that I want to share with you now in this video. The first one is knowing my peace triggers. So we all know about anxiety triggers. They're bad, the things that make you anxious or stressed out. But I call peace triggers those things that make you feel better, make you feel calm, relaxed, and peaceful. For me, the main one is the color pink. And if you watch that video, Why Do I Love Pink?, you'll understand why. But pink for me is a peace trigger. Also candles. I love candles. Aromatherapy is good for me. I love to smell lavender when I'm getting stressed out. So many things that really help me. Fountain water. I love to hear water trickling. That just really relaxes me. Good music, lots of things. And make sure that you get yourself surrounded by these, your own peace triggers. Make a list. I bet you could come up with 10 things that make you feel calm and peaceful. And get yourself around those. I mean, I'm always burning candles. I'm always wearing pink. And, just make sure that those things are around you so that you have some like ammunition when anxiety wants to attack you. The other thing I do is practice meditation and yoga and deep breathing. There's times when I get anxious or anxiety so bad that I'll be sitting still and my Apple Watch will start telling me that my heart rate is way too high. That's when I know I've got a real problem. And sometimes the only thing that helps me right in that moment is deep breathing. So I'll just breathe as deep as I can and just let it all out. And actually that makes me feel really better right now, filming this video. But yeah, some meditation. If you have Audible, they have free meditation guides on Audible. There's also a ton of guided meditation on YouTube for free you can listen to. So all that. And then yoga practicing. You don't have to go to a studio and practice in front of everybody. You can just turn on a YouTube video and do poses in your room. And those can really calm and relax you. The other thing I do is make sure that I'm always moving my body when I feel anxious or when I know something might come up that makes me feel anxious. So I do like some walking, anything you can do just to get moving. You know, those endorphins get pumped and it just really helps you relax your body. So get moving. The other thing I want to do all the time is express my gratitude on a daily basis. It's hard to feel anxious and stressed out when you're thinking about things that you're blessed with. So practice your gratitude on the daily basis, and also take complete care of your well-being, because the stronger you are as a person, the stronger you are and able to fight off some of these stressors or things that make you anxious. Another thing that you want to do is communicate with others often, or as often as you can. Sometimes when you're feeling anxious, talking to people might make you feel worse, but I encourage you to try or find some private person that you could talk to and keep things confidential. I'll tell you one thing that I did when I was going through a really bad spell of anxiety a couple years ago. As I started using the app called Talkspace. It's an app and a website. That is a virtual therapy. You get in touch with real live therapists, but you type everything. You can also do, I think, video counseling as well, but I typed everything. So it was really therapeutic for me just to type out everything I was feeling, everything that I was going to, press send, and then get a response, and then just go back and forth as often as you want, depending on the package that you have. So that was very good because I knew everything was confidential. This person didn't know me. I didn't know her, but she was very good at talking me off a ledge and putting some realism to the things that I was thinking. It was perfect. A Talkspace, I highly recommend it. And another thing I do is I surround myself with a peaceful, clutter-free environment. If you come to my home, well, if you used to come to my home, it was a chaos mess. But now you come to my home, it's not quite zen, but it's very peaceful. We keep it quiet. There's always a candle burning. I got rid of all the clutter in my house, and it's just a really nice, calming atmosphere. So that's another thing you might want to do. Another thing you might want to do is get into the habit of writing everything down in a journal. Similar to communicating with other people, this is you going to be communicating with yourself in the form of writing a journal. I actually write to my journal like, hello journal, how are you? And then I just fill in the rest of the page with what I want to think, but it really helps you get things off of your chest and work things out on your own. The next thing I want you to do is to make sure that you get enough sleep and rest. Your body needs to relax and recharge and rejuvenate itself so that it can function properly in the future. Obviously, when I was a new mom, I was sleep deprived, and that just goes along with the territory. So I was already defenseless when it comes to being rejuvenated. So that's something I make sure that I do now, is get adequate sleep and rest so that my body can just take that time to heal itself and to get me in a better frame of mind, rested and relaxed, so that I can face whatever life comes at me with. And the last thing that I want to share with you is just to make sure that you spend a lot of time working on or engaging in pleasant activities. Whatever you find pleasant, again, make another list of things that you love to do. So me, I love to get together with friends and just chit chat. I love to listen to music. I love to, just sit around. I do an electronic coloring book. That's relaxing. I really like to do that. So make sure that you're reading, that you're watching videos, that you're watching movies, doing whatever, but make a list of things that you really enjoy. Focus on those things, and that'll help take away that negative attention that you focus on something that's causing you stress and anxiety. So the end result is that I feel much better, much better than I used to. I have managed anxiety. Anxiety doesn't manage me. And I still take medicine, but I no longer need to engage in therapy. And I do things that I enjoy so that I don't have to have so many anxious episodes. Like I said, they're still going to come. I'm still prepared. I always will have, I'm an anxious person. So I'm always going to have a certain level of tension that I feel, but it doesn't have to affect the way I live my life and how I can get things done. My sleeping, my working, my engaging with friends and things like that. It doesn't have to keep me out of life. Okay, so that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I also wrote an article on my blog that deals with anxiety, and it includes much more depth, and it also has 3 additional tips and strategies that I would like to share with you that I didn't have time to go over in the video. So go over to my blog at pink2paris.com. I'll also link it down in the description box below, and let me know what you think. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you know someone who could use this information, please share. And if you like this information, please give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you never miss an upload. I'll be back very soon with another video, and until then, bye-bye. Let's try this one more time. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so make sure the candle's not burning.